Okay, so good morning to everyone. Let me start with something that from the system. I would say in the system we are saying the main function is called ERP, Educational Resource Planning. So let me start with something that from Unimy. Okay, because this one is already existed in system. Okay, of course the main dashboard here is actually from the social. So when I go in here, as a Unimy, when they have the function of the ERP management, they will first can do all the rest of some of this. Today I will more focus to the mapping part. I will beginning with the definition of the certificate that offered by Unimy. Let's say that today we will have a case of the degree, right? So after that, I will have to start with my development. Let's say that what kind of program that I offer. Now today I'm going to offer a new course. Maybe a new course is under the degree. Then let's say that what is the name of the degree course here?
One name for.
Oh, new lah. Contoh.
Bagi example lah yang ada degree.
Ya, ada degree. Contoh
Apa subject dia? I don't know.
No, program. The name of the program.
Name of the program.
program is computer engineering.
Okay. Computer engineering. So maybe over here, if you have anything that you can do it. So this is the level. So synopsis, if you have anything for demo purposes. Okay. So now this is the program that we define based on the certificate under Unimy. Secondly, is actually I'm going to define my PO. So let's say that my PO is actually is under the this is my PO1. Description of it is actually is for demo. Okay, and then this is the mapping of the PL under the PL01. So and then for the complex problem solving is under the tip of analysis, and then for the complex problem activity under the innovation.
The PLO is from.
This is the MQA, based on the MQA definition.
If you want to change to EAC definition.
No, that is a PO. You define your PO, map with the MQA PLO.
Yeah. So the EAC one?
EAC.
PLO1.
That one already EAC, right?
Yeah, that's right. PO is actually you are defining according to the needs of the EAC. Okay. In under EAC, they don't have the specific that you need to map with them. You just define based on the requirement. For example, total you need to define 12. So you define 12. However, the 12 PLO that you have, the 12 PO, you should map with the MQA PLO. Because under MQA they only have 8 domain. This is how the things are going on. And when we're doing the mapping on the PO, we purposely put it in the under the EAC requirement on the complex solving, complex problem activity, as well as the knowledge profile under which one. So so this is a PO2, and under this one, so this.
Just scroll up to let her see it. Wait, let me take my glasses. I can't see.
Okay, so now we already started the mapping on the PO. The PO is actually we define under the EAC requirement. Maybe total we define 12. So and then the mapping on the PLO is actually following the requirement of the MQA. So when we doing the mapping on the PO and the PLO, so under the MQA, we also map the things on our PO according to the CPS, CEA, and the KP, according to the needs. Right? Is okay? Continue? Okay. Now I'm going to call out the subject. This is a subject that I have. The subject. So my subject is actually I can class my subject according to the core module, elective module, and the common module. Now I don't have anything here. So I need to start to do some create. So I will do the management under the Unimy. I will do the management on the map on the something like a folder. I create a new folder I call as a degree program. Okay, degree courses. Okay, so for database for subject database. Okay, so at least I know where I keep my record in which category. So next, I'm going to create the subject. Let's say that any subject that I can create from here, see, is under this one. So let's say that in under engineering, normally you will have the standard subject like any standard subject under engineering in under Unimy.
Electrical circuit.
Okay, electronic
Electronic circuit.
yes. So what is the code?
EE255.
EE255. So this is a 3 credit, and the field is under electronic. Normally we will have our own teaching plan or our syllabus, right? So I would suggest that you put on your teaching plan, the updated version, put it into the system, so that anytime the admin will have the resources. If not, you will keep one version, he will keep one version, then the admin don't have the latest version. At the end, when the admin is away, so no one can access, then come to the point of MQA or the ESC come here, they want to access all the teaching plan, you don't know where to do it. So this is the place that you can store the document, right? So the synopsis of this thing is actually demo purposes. Okay, now I have my subject. Okay, maybe I can create one more subject under the same category.
Communication principle.
Communication principle. Code is
EE252.
252. So this is 3 credit, 2 credit. 3, okay. From the Unity practice in the coding here, there's a 4 digit. Normally we will have always the last digit representing the credit. Is it the same system in Unimy?
For foundation, yes.
252. For foundation, for
So,
But not for
but if you say when you say EE252, I thought the last digit is the credit, but it's mentioned that it's a 3 credit. So normally they will be using some system like this one to representing. So this is communications. So same thing. Demo purposes. Okay. So now I have 2 subject. So I can go back to my program. This is the computer science, computer engineering. So now this is the first thing that I done it. Okay. Of course, I didn't put in the PO in the system because for as far as I understand, PO measurement is actually not through the system. PO measurement is actually after 3 years. It's come from the survey, come from the study of the graduate after a few years. So if you think that is a requirement, of course, I will put in the PO according to the needs later on. Okay, when I have the core module, let's say that EE, this is under the degree course, electronic circuit. So do you have any prerequisite for this subject? You also can put in as your mapping, as your information, because in the system, if you put it in, at least there is a very good reference, right? So no, then we just keep it. Okay.
Show back the program outcome from the
Program outcome, yes. When you come to the program outcome, you can define it like say that PO3, PO3. So that's the other sample. So maybe it's to what, right? So then you can have put in your description of the PO. What is that? Because sometimes you need it. Because when you being asked or something, when you open the system, at least you know PO3 for this one is actually measure what. Okay. It's sometimes you put it into the workshop during the workshop, but after 1 year, then only the ESC come. You will always forget whatever you write, right? So better you write down here. So next is actually a mapping with the PLO under the MQF framework. So then this is a mapping with your solving. This is a complex problem solving. It's under the extent of applications. For the activity, it's under the consequences to society. Lastly, is actually in the KP. Knowledge profile is under engineering practice. So now you can define all the whole program. What is your PO? Everything is under the list here. Okay, now I already put in my subject. Okay, so I will put in another subject is actually under the common module for the communications. This is the communications. I put in here. Right. So now I have this. So what I'm going to do is actually when I go to my subject, I go to, I think this is the one. Yes, correct. So now this is the one that in my subject, the basic profile, I'm going to do the mapping, the learning outcome. However, I don't have anything yet because I never define my CO. So let me start to define my CO on my subject. So go back to my module. This is a one, right? Electronic circuit. Let's say that take this one as example. So this is my profile. Then I go to the learning outcome. Let's say let me start. CO1, CO1 lah. Identify me. So this is under the Bloom level of knowledge. The affective domain is under responding, and the psychomotor is under the guided response. So you will have the information on your CO mapping with your taxonomy. Okay, let me do some more on the CO on this one. This is a CO2. So this is under comprehension valuing. Next one more. CO3. So applications, maybe characterization, and I don't have that. Okay, so next I go back to my program. Okay, so same thing, computer engineering. I go to my core module. This is a one. Now, what I can do right now is actually I'm going to do my mapping on my CO with the program outcome that I have designed it. So maybe this one CO1, I will map it to this one PO1. Okay, so then for the CO2 is a map with my PO2. This is in the normal practice. I would say like in my university, because it's engineering background, you mapping like one CO to one PO is logic, two CO to one PO is still logic. But if you have a one CO to two PO, this is something not so okay, but it's still possible. It's going to happen. So by the system, we allow you to do that lah. For example, under the CO1 is actually mapping with the PO1 and the PO3. Okay, it still allow you to do something like this in here. Okay, like this. It's okay until now? Boleh? So this is the another one. You put it here. This is for the PO2. Macam tu lah. Right? So then for another, the rest of the subject, we all doing the same thing. Which means from here, you already done the proper mapping in the management level from your PLO, from your PO with the PLO and the PO and with the CO, as well as your engineering KP, CSP, and the taxonomy level. You also map it well over here. Okay. So next, when we go down, okay, when I have the program, now I need to distribute the program to the maybe the center of engineering. So what I'm going to do is actually, this is just how I do it. Okay, I'm going to give this program to the center of degree study. So it's under degree. I'm going to reward the computer engineering program to them. Okay. Okay, and then I will approve it. Done. So next I will put it like activate this thing. Okay, so the rest of the job is actually the management. Do not do anything else. So now we go to the degree account. So that now the center of degree study, they already received the curriculum, computer engineering. Under the computer engineering, they have this one, the list of the subject. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do my development. Because from the top, you already have the PO and the PLO and your CO mapping. So which means here, you already have the list of your CO. Is it? This is list of the CO. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign my lecturers. Because the lecturer is come from the degree program. So who is the one? Maybe today I want to assign AJ or something. It's start from here. But with the condition that the lecturer must be the one of the official member under the degree program. Then only can do it. Okay? So now let me continue. For this purpose, I already have the outcome is defined over here. If the lecturer want to do further modification, yes, they are allowed to do that. Okay? Because maybe from time to time it's always happen, right? Okay, especially under the CQI. Okay, let's move on. I have this one. Now I'm going to start to do the constructive alignment from my profile until my assessment. First of all, it's actually I'm going to define my syllabus. My syllabus is actually is the one that I'm going to teach. The scope I'm going to teach is, first of all, is the chapter 1. It's about the introduction to electronic. Okay, this is under chapter 1. So, and then the total time that for chapter 1 is actually is about 5 SLT. The learning outcome for this one is for the CO1. If at the same time here you want to have more CO, you can do that. Okay, but however, I just want to do one CO1. Description is up to you. The detail for chapter 1, what are you going to teach? Okay, so the more usage. Right. So this is for the chapter 1. Next, I'm going to do one more on chapter 2. Chapter 2 is actually is components of what? Electronic system. Okay, so this is chapter 2. Total SLT is 5. Then it's contribute to CO2. Message. So now this is your constructive, the second part of your constructive alignment from your profile to your teaching syllabus. Okay, so next is actually I'm going back here. Okay, to the third part is my learning design. For the learning design is actually is about the weekly program, weekly. So now I'm going to teach for my syllabus one called introduction, right? I'm going to teach it for 2 weeks, right? So I'm here. I will start to do my learning design. So this is for the introduction part 1. So this is for week 1. Then I'm going to teach it using as a supporting blended learning method, and then this is under the syllabus of chapter 1. So this is my detail lah. Go to demo usage. Then the lecturers will put in their slide, their learning contents, everything is for here for this part. So now I'm going to create one more. It's same thing because it's an introduction as mentioned. Introduction part 2. So it's under week 2. So this is the same thing, and then for syllabus is still under chapter 1. Okay, demo usage. So one more. I'm going to come to the week 3. Week 3 is actually about the types of component. So this is for week 3. Then we're going to do it here. This is something important actually, because when you have this one under the OBE structure, then you are going to say that OBE is actually outcome based, right? How to implement outcome based? Normally they're referring to something called blended learning. In the blended learning, you need to fulfill the requirement. Okay, for Kementerian, for example, when they say, okay, how good is your blended learning? How you measure the blended learning of 30%? There must be a formula. In the supporting blended learning, there is a formula. Substitute blended learning, there is another formula. So, and then how are you going to make sure that the lecturer or the subject doing the blended learning? Normally the EAC will say, okay, can you show it to me for this CO, what is the things that you're going to teach, and then how you're going to teach, and in terms of blended learning, what is your achievement of it? How many percent is online, how many percent is actually is offline, and how are you going to calculate for that one? So now I'm going to do it is actually, this is later on, I will in more detail, okay? So for demo usage, right? Okay, so now I will have all the things that is actually properly mapped from my PO, PLO, then to the engineering domain, then to my outcome, PO, CO mapping. So now my mapping in my course level is CO with my syllabus with my teaching method, or the my learning design. It's all mapped together. So next, okay, let's assume that I'm going to further. So go back here. Okay, I'm going to start to do my assessment. Okay, assessment, this is maybe is an assignment 1. So in the assignment 1 is actually is a more to the, this is the formative assessment, then a quiz, and then the passing mark for this one is actually is a 10 marks. Okay, so yes. Okay, so now when I go in here to set up my assessment, Okay, this is like a front page, front cover for the student to access. I believe for all over here already know this very well. You've been using it for quite a number of time, right? So then this is for example, instruction to student. So after that, this is duration. Yes, I want to set the time for this one is actually up to 30 minutes. I only give the 2 attempts to my student. Okay, so when to when? It's actually from yesterday until this next week. And visibility is on. So now this is a profile of my assessment. I'm going to start to create my question. Okay, what is electronics? So this question is, I'm going to give my mark is 20 because my passing mark is 10, so my total marks for this question is 20. For example, I have any attachment? Yes, I have attachment. Maybe I'm putting in the attachment of a picture like this one.
Can you attach the whole set of questions here? Like instead of writing there, typing it, you attach the whole set. Everything's there typed from document.
You copy and paste, you mean?
No, just attach.
Attach, yeah,
Attach
yes.
just a picture.
This
I mean,
one.
instead of typing the question, right?
Yeah,
The essay
this one.
question, everything is attached.
Eh? Using
like
this
that
one.
lah. Just attached.
Just a
Instead
picture.
Of, typing.
No
No typing at all.
I know.
Attach
You want it.
everything
You want it simple.
from
Simple.
Word. Yeah.
Because for example, your Word file, you just crop
They have
it.
already everything.
Question 1 crop, question 2 crop. From here, you create as a question. One question, one picture. One question, one picture. That's all.
You still have to do that.
Because when you have the question, it's good. Your result is actually come from the question level. Map it back to your outcome. That's why it's important on doing
So
that.
the question must be typed lah.
No
That
need.
means-
You just your question, for example,
copy
okay,
paste.
refer question. Okay, you say question 1, and refer to attachment. That's all.
Oh, just like that.
Which is question
So
by question.
question 1 to 20 refer to attachment.
Yes.
Can
So which
do
means
that,
you just
right?
create 20 question here, and then
Yeah.
your question 1 by 1 inside there. Okay. So now, like as I said, learning design. You see, I'm doing the another way of my constructive alignment is from my again profile to my syllabus to my teaching, my learning design. Now for my learning design to the assessment. So this one is actually you are going to do it in this one. Learning design is actually contribute to introduction part 1, right? Because part 1 is going to relate to chapter 1. Chapter 1 related to CO1. CO1 related to PO1. PO1 related to PLO1, for example. Also, the whole line is actually constructed. So, and then what is your Bloom taxonomy for this question? Maybe here is actually only the cognitive on the application level. Okay, in this one, normally I will suggest that when you're doing a question, you should define your Bloom level. It's very important because sometimes when the ANC that when they're doing a study, they want to know what is the level of your question when you give it to the student. Okay? Normally when you are handling like using a Moodle platform or something, of course they won't have something like this for you to define. Here is actually we capture everything. Okay, now let's say that I'm done. Okay, so this is my question. So now you can try to see how is the overall is starting from beginning until end. As long as the student they start to do everything here, system able to capture all the marks. For example, this is a 20 point. The student only get 5 out of this. So the 5 point over there, we will have to calculate like this. This one we are still doing the final simulation, and not the final simulation. Is actually the simulation is done. Now we are putting into the system. Let me share with you how is the system able to capture in the Excel file format. Okay, try to imagine for a single student. Are you familiar with the here calculation part? Okay, you see in this example, I put it larger for you. I done the mapping here. I have a 5 CO, and then this is I have a 6 PO. Can map it together. Okay, this one is considered quite complicated. So now in my syllabus mapping, I have the CPO, my syllabus mapping with my CO, and then the total learning time that I have. Right, this is what I define in my syllabus. Then in my learning design, I'll start to define lesson. I'm using the word lesson rather than week. I can use the word week. let's say that. Okay. So week 1 for chapter 1, week 2 for chapter 1 again. What is the syllabus? What is the CO on that? So what is the information? This is the learning material. Learning material is actually, there's a 4 type of it for us to measure the blended learning. We have something called information, learning material, activity, and additional material. When you have this one in the system, it's easy for you to capture because you already define this is information, this is learning material, this is the video, like this. When you have something like this one, the system able to capture how many of it in total, right? And then the total time. Next, you're saying that the assessment, we also do the mapping like formative, quiz 1, quiz 2. Each of the question, we already do the mapping with the lesson here. Okay, we do the mapping and the total marks on it. So after that, this is the marks that gained by the student in total. So for example, the whole is 100%, the student gets 67. Okay, from the 67 is actually come from question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, and for everything it's from here. Next, in terms of the OBE profile for the constructive alignment, this is something that you can get. For the CO, the total syllabus SLT that you design and the total SLT that for the learning design, you can do the comparative study. Are you doing the same thing or not? Next is actually how many of the learning material is related to the information, learning material, activity, and the additional material in total, like this. So you can see the total percentage. This one will help you to calculate your blended learning achievement. How many percent? How many percent online? And do you have enough contents to declare your blended learning is actually up to the 30%, 60%, or 70%? Next is actually you go for the this is the marks that gained by the student, right? And then the student, of course, will see the artifact. So from the 67%, this is something that very important. You see, when you're doing the achievement, this is a quiz. Then this is a question. Each of the question related to your CO. Okay, your CO is actually, you will come back. For example, you see, question 1 is come from here, 4 point, right? Because question 1 is actually related to lesson 1. Lesson 1 here is actually related to chapter 1, or which is a CO1, which means this question is only contribute to 1 CO. Then you will get the mark is actually is 5 point, but the student score 4. In this example, question 3, you see, question 3, why is divided by 2? Because question 3 is actually served to 2 CO. Where is it? CO3 is actually is under question 1, right? So question 1 is under here, lesson 3. Lesson 3 is this one. Come to the chapter 2, contribute to CO1 and CO2. Right? So the CO1, CO2 here, and then the student score is actually is how many? The student totally score 2 marks. So it must have to be break it up into 2. Okay, because it's contribute to both. Then at the end, you will get your CO achievement. Okay, like this one. The total is 100%. Total of the student gain is 67%. However, the achievement of the CO will be different. You see, achievement of the CO for this one is only have 22.5 marks. The student gain 70. This is 45. The student gain 26. So, although the student is actually gain 67 per 100, but in the CO equivalent to percentage is all different. Okay, this is CO achievement. CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, and CO5 is different. From the achievement of the CO, then you will come back to your PO measurement. PO measurement, there's a 3 method I found when I studied the document provided by Dr. Gan. So I think the most relevant will be using this formula, which is the percentage of the relevancy, the weightage of it. If you're for the CO1, because for example in the PO1, the measurement is only come from the CO1 and CO2. But the CO1 is actually measurement of the 70% and the CO2 is measurement about 30%. You will get the based on the weightage, you will calculate again what is the contribution of the PO according to the percentage. So now from here you will get the proper report. How is the outcome of the PO achievement, CO achievement, and then based on your performance indicator, are you achieved on the 50%? What is the CQI that you should go? Because from here only, you can get the answer. Okay, roughly, this is the things that